Well, what we have here is a hilarious yet disconcerting look into the woke hive mind. The drones that are absolutely certain about everything and yet cannot define what a woman is. Yes, it's very strange. But let's put on our hazmat suits and wade into this ocean of mind virus. Here's the headline: Twitter workers freaking out over Elon Musk in internal Slack messages. So I guess Slack is an internal messaging system that companies use for their staff. It says leaked internal communications by Twitter employees reveal woke employees are overtaken by despair and anger about Elon Musk's month-long effort to acquire Twitter. But keep in mind, they're also overtaken with despair and anger every time Dave Chappelle makes a joke. But anyway, let's take a look at some of these leaked communications from the Twitter staff. Quote, physically cringing watching Elon talk about free speech. And that's from a reliability engineer who identifies as a non-binary, transgender, and plural person, wrote. So I don't know what plural means. There's more than one of them, I guess. Who knows these days? So you have to understand, for the woke left, they have a different concept of free speech than a normal person does. For them, free speech is being able to spew hate and bile at anybody who disagrees with them on anything without they themselves being triggered. Because if they get triggered, it might make them too scared to go back onto social media to spew their hate and bile at anybody they disagree with over anything. So, and when they talk about things like, positive or healthy conversations, they mean them spewing hate and bile. But here's another one. Now, we're all going through the 5 stages of grief. The 5 stages of grief. Okay, in cycles and everyone's nerves are frazzled. That was from a senior staff software engineer who called Musk an a-hole and tried to console the colleagues. This doesn't sound healthy to me. These don't sound like mentally healthy people. We're all spinning our wheels and coming up against the worst case scenarios. Trump returns, no more moderation. The fact is that Musk has not talked about what he's planning on doing in any detail outside of broad sweeping statements that could be easily seen as hyperbolic showboating. But, these 5 stages of grief that they're suffering, this is all based around their delusions of insurrection, and that Trump is a bad man from Germany, and that there's going to be absolutely no moderation on Twitter. Of course there is. Musk has stated that it's going to be within the law. It's going to be legal speech is going to be allowed, which means that these lunatics are not going to be able to just arbitrarily ban people because they don't like them or they don't like the hat that they're wearing. I mean, it is revealing that, you see, these are the kinds of lunatics who've been ruining the platform. It's not a surprise that they ruined it. Anyway, a senior staff video engineer announced he would be quitting. Quote, not the place to say it perhaps, but I will not work for this company after the takeover. Sure you will. I mean, who the hell else will have you? Here's a comment. A Musk-owned Twitter is one of the greatest threats to the 2022 and 2024 elections, so the mask comes off. That's what it's really all about, isn't it? They're worried that they won't be able to control the narrative and therefore control elections. We are effed if this happens. Yes, if you can't control the narrative, you might well be effed. Let's see, a reliability engineer manager said Musk's views on free speech is, quote, is cover for, I want to not be held accountable for saying or amplifying harmful things. Okay, but we know that anything that you don't like, you consider harmful. And here we get a look at their real attitude. One engineer wrote that, quote, self-reported censorship is sometimes just horrible people effing around and then finding out. A senior content strategist responded, and it doesn't happen often enough. This is a very informative view into these people's minds, isn't it? Say something we don't like and you'll find out. These people are obviously afraid of losing their little censorship kingdom. Here's a Twitter engineer replying directly to Elon Musk when Elon Musk tweeted this: suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate. He's talking about the Hunter laptop story from the New York Post there. Here's what this guy wrote. That's not what happened. Twitter had a policy about hacked documents. Okay, It wasn't hacked documents. Just think about that. These are the people who've been running the platform. It's terrifying. We applied this policy equally. No, you didn't. The merits of that policy are debatable, but it wasn't targeted censorship. You don't even know that the Hunter Biden story was not about hacked documents. So we are really getting a look into just how rotten Twitter has been at its heart. Here's an engineering manager. The problem with Elon Musk is that he has demonstrated a pattern of harmful behavior consistently that disproportionately impacts marginalized people. So maybe let's not give him any more power than he already stole. Okay, what power did he steal, for one? So you're just making a baseless accusation there. Secondly, pattern of harmful behavior. Again, it's just anything you don't like. It's any opinion you don't like. And what do they always go to? Oh, it's hurting marginalized people. Okay, look, that's just a magic incantation. I know it's worked for a long time. The spell is starting to break. You can't just say that anymore and have everybody nod and go, okay. I know the magic spell worked. It worked to muddle people's minds into just agreeing with you. But again, the spell's breaking, my friend. So there we have it, a look into the dark heart of woke big tech. And what else can you say but the horror, the horror. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me out. If you'd just like to listen, there's the audio-only version. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.